All right, I've been asked about my story, so I'm going to share my story. My story started time-wise. It doesn't really. It's irrelevant to me. Not that I don't believe in time, because we're in the construct of time, but it's. I don't really think about it like that anymore. It started for me was I saw, you want to call it a conspiracy video, whatever you want to call it. I saw this video and some information on there. It just didn't jive with me. I thought I did well in school. I got good grades. I studied. Did I study as hard as I should have? Probably not. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it was, doctrination in my thinking. So I mean, you're getting what they want, what they think that you should actually know or learn. When you start to search and look for things yourself, you find out a lot of different answers than you were taught. To make a trying to confine the story down for me, it started off with I saw something, all right, and I saw this and I was like, well, I was never taught this, so I started digging into it and I was like, wow, this doesn't add up, it's always end of the world type stuff or alien type stuff or any of this type of stuff out there. And I'm not saying I don't believe in aliens, I don't believe in spirits or anything like that. I do believe they exist. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying in the fear factor point of it, which is most of what it really is to me. I think the thing for me was, okay, I started doing Kwaijong, and there's penny pill out there you can look up that if you want to try Kwaijong. I don't practice it as much as I used to. I'm not saying it's not effective. I liked it. My first big time spiritual experience was done doing that. So I highly recommend it if it's something that you want to try. If yoga is not your thing, which is my yoga is different than everybody else's, because I don't teach just about poses. It's not about I can lift myself up with one arm. This is more or less about the breathing to me, and the mantras help with that to keep your meditation focus. This is what it's about. It's about putting yourself back into center, to let thoughts go, to come to the point where you have no thoughts. So those thoughts aren't coming into yourself. But anyway, so I started with Kwaijong, Qigong, whatever anybody wants to call it. I've heard it said both ways. But regardless, you can look up Jason Quitt. He's one guy who I started doing the salute to the sun with this and had profound effects with. So highly recommend that if you want to look into Jason Quitt. There's also the Qigong professor on Instagram. I highly recommend him as well. He's got videos on all the time. Try to find someone local. I guess more or less why I kind of got steered away from it here was in some ways later on when I was going to try to do some more of it. I reached out to the local place and I never heard back from them. So I was like, okay. Anyway, so from there I started to do Toltec practices. And those I learned from Sevan Bomar, some books that he recommended years ago. I highly recommend watching Sevan Bomar. He's very knowledgeable in esoteric knowledge and can break down pretty much anything and give it to you as we can take it in the information as we can, considering how bad language is constructed or kind of misinterpreted. But bottom line is this: you don't need to just do yoga. All right, you don't have to do yoga. You can do Qigong, Kwaijong. You can do Toltec practices. Sergio Magana, I would highly recommend his books on the Toltec practices. The one practice that I did, you actually wear masks, one with a nose and with no nose. Well, in their actual teachings, it's also supposed to help you get control of your dreams. So it's like, why not try it? And that's with all this. So I was like, okay, I can't stand back and watch and then wonder why these people are talking the way they're talking without trying to do it myself. So that's what happened. I started doing it myself, and all of a sudden I started having these effects on myself. Feeling good, crying it sometimes. I'm not saying I don't cry. I've cried a lot. Shedding away things that don't need to be held onto anymore. Old belief systems, which beliefs to me are walls. They're put up to prevent you from trying something different. They're put up to separate you from something else. I don't like division. Why I got into even learning languages. Like I can say relax in how many different languages? Kipini Magat in Hungarian, Zirlak Sovasha in Polish, Hispanic in German. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So, I mean, it really got me into languages, and I just wanted to know, okay, why didn't I learn some of these languages? Because when I got out there in the workforce, I did wood finishing, and I did custom cabinets. I did all that type of custom work. Got into from all different types of ranges of actual customers, because I've changed companies all the time. just because I just couldn't cut it. It just wasn't for me. It was always the same corporate bureaucracy type bullshit to me. Sorry for the language to any children out there. I didn't mean to use that, but it was a lot of nonsense. But anyway, so I was like doing commercial work to actual retail stores, like your Noodles to Chipotle, all these different types of stores. Then I was doing even more commercial work, different type of commercial work and residential type of work for another company. Then I ended up actually doing nothing but actual residential high-end custom work for millionaires and billionaires, matter of fact. So I've been in their houses, and I saw how they were living and how they were acting and all that kind of thing. Regardless of that, what got me into this was, okay, I wanted the answers for myself. I was always taking answers for someone else. Someone else always knew what was best for me. Well, that wasn't true, because no one knows what's best for you but you. That's why you have to tap into your inner being and tap into your inner self, because if you tap into it, you can actually hear them yourself, and yourself is going to talk to you, separating all this other outside noise away from you. And it will help you put you back in alignment. I can't share this enough, but that's my path. That's how it happened. So I started off the Qigong. I had a profound experience with that to show me that what I think reality really wasn't totally what it was. Then I had started doing the Toltec practices, wearing the mask. And in this practice, you actually talk to yourself for half an hour, starting off from the beginning of your life to as much as you can remember. And you will remember more as you keep going through this, because you do this for, I think it was 36 days or 40 days. Whatever, you do this every day, and you talk to yourself for a half an hour in the mirror with these masks on, by switching the mask on and off with the nose and the no-nose, which is supposed to help you tell you when you're actually in the dream. So I was doing these practices, and it taught me a lot that this isn't me. This body of mine is not me. It's a vehicle that I use, and this is one of the high vehicles. It's a yantra. It's a machine. It's a thing to elevate ourselves, I guess, out of this construct, if you want to say it, out of suffering. Let's break this whole thing wide open is my thought. That's why I've been doing these types of things and sharing these types of things. Yeah, sometimes I get trapped and I get wrapped up in my art. I get really into it because it's my spiritual side. So, I mean, I wanted to share this because I don't want people to think that they have to do yoga. And when I mean by yoga, I don't mean all the postures, all the stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't help. This all helps with the body to help put it back into correct shape and form. I'm not saying it's not there, but I love the stuff out there, but some of the stuff, and I compliment the people that can do some of the stuff, because some of the stuff I still can't do. But I know that some of it that I never thought I could do, I can do. So, I mean, that was what it was. It was kind of reminds me back of my history of my childhood when I played basketball. And people said, it was always, I felt like, he wasn't good enough, he can't play. Well, wasn't going to happen. So I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, practiced and practiced, until I became better and better and better and better at it. That's basically what you're doing in life. You're experiencing life through yourself, through whatever experience you want to experience it. Don't let anybody push you back. Don't let anybody put you down, because you're more than that. You're a high spiritual energy being, and this construct that they have going on here, where they're trying to demonize things and put people down, it just doesn't fly for me. I've seen it enough. I've heard it enough. You're very special. We all are. We all got different uniquenesses. We need to actually combine these in more unity. That's kind of what I've been at now. It's the stage where I'm at now. I want to see more people come together and help each other with their greatness. We can all help each other out. This I'm better than you thing needs to go. It just the ego thing. I mean, I've shown you the ego eradicator, one of the great effective ways, breath of fire. Check out one of my videos if you haven't seen it. This will help you a lot. Any type of breathing, where you're holding your arms up, because man, I was an athlete, and I did a lot of different things besides working out and all this kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, the first time I've actually did some actual real spirituality practice, it's a lot harder than doing anything that I'd done athletically. It is. And it taught me I couldn't even hold my arms up for half an hour without them being in pain. So my debt that I have to pay back for my life. But anyway, that's why I say, the people that think they're so strong and powerful, see if they can hold their arms up for more than 15 minutes. I'd be surprised if they can. But regardless of that, I'm here to share my story. And that is, you're more than that. You're more than all this. You know, I show ways that I've done it for me. I use Sun Warrior products for my proteins. I do plant-based type of proteins. I do not eat meat. That was a challenge in itself. I'm over it. It's gone. I don't even think about it anymore. It's not even in my vocabulary anymore, and it's not even in my actual consumption anymore. All these things I had to go through to better myself, and that's what it was, because I was on the path of, I used to drink pop all the time. I've done drugs. I did dope. I've tried cocaine. I'm going to share this stuff with you. I've tried this stuff. And those effects were still not the same effects that I get from doing spirituality practices. They're not even close. So, anybody that's out there that's trapped on the drugs thing, I'm sorry, but you're going at it the wrong way. As Sevan Bomar would say, if I've referred him before in another video, I would say look him up. It's like going through the back door. You want to go through the front door, the front lobe, which is contaminated because I'm staring at a screen right now talking to you. I'm taking in energy as it is. Or I sit in front of the TV and I'm taking in energy, and it messes with your frontal lobe. And I've showed you how to balance that out. I've showed you the technique. So, the breathing technique. So check out these videos. Pass this information. Come on, let's get this thing moving. Let's get this thing rolling. It's not about waking up. It's about being aware. So being aware of who you really truly are. Being aware of yourself, looking at yourself. Your fingernails can tell you sometimes what's wrong with you. If you look into things, you'll be surprised at what you'll find out. If you're stuck on one aspect of life, then you're trapped in just one little portion of the life. It's a collective of all. It's not just one portion. So it's not like, so that's why it's funny when you go to school, they try to get you into one field. Like do this, or this is what you're going to be good at, telling you what you're good at. And they don't even know what they're good at themselves, most of them. But anyway, so I wanted to share my story. So the Toltec practice, the dreaming, it taught me that I wasn't my body wearing these masks. That led me on to Kundalini yoga, and I've been doing that ever since, and trying to finish up my teacher training, and I'm sharing all the information that I've learned with you to teach you guys and anybody else out there, and I don't mean you guy, I mean everyone. So I'm sharing this information, so spread this information, pass this information on. This is what we need to do. We need to start to actually come together. And this needs to start to happen now. It's because everything is now. This past, present, future thing, it's now. It's not, our mind wants to carry us off to think of what we've got to do for tomorrow, or our mind's got to carry ourselves, what do we have to do, or thinking about our past. We never stay in the present. That's the present. Not these Christmas gifts, not this stuff that somebody else actually, brought upon us, or maybe even myself in my past time brought this upon us. I do not know that, but this stuff, it can go, it can stop. So I want this message to get out there. So it's not about the poses per se. I also wanted to make that very clear. You any size, shape, or form you are, just by getting into these practices, it's going to change your life. Because what happened to me was when I started doing this, it was like choppy. I would do it, I wouldn't always do it. I would do it, I would always do it. I kept doing it, and then the more I did it, the more I did it, the more I did it. Now I do it on a day-to-day basis. So just start doing it. You got the people out there telling you to do it in the morning. People got telling you to do it at night. Just start the practice. It's not about the time frame. The time frame, yes, is more effective if you do it in the morning between 4 and 7, and it's effective at 4 and 7 at night. Okay? There's many reasons for that. To me, the simplest reason I could say that is the moon and the sun are setting at the same time. Those are the sun and the moon energies that you need to balance. So they're out. All right, they're in effect. You wait for the sun to rise, the moon is already out. The sun is going down, the moon is already out. So that's why it's effective, more effective. But it's all effective if you just do it during any part of the day, because that's what I used to do, and that's how I got started. So I wanted to share that information. So please pass these videos on. And, please leave comments. Please, let's make this a better world. Let's just pass on, as much sharing of information, sharing of experiences, what it's done for you. I literally vibrate inside from doing this stuff. It's the most profound effect. It's more than any drug I've ever taken. And I've tried my share of them, and a lot of them. So this needs to be shared with the children, because, kids are out there, they're under the pills, which are, blockers, really, basically all they are to me. Is they're blocking you from being aligned with yourself. And and then you get taught in the out to the drinking, and that's supposed to be. I guess the other thing I wanted to say this too. I guess I'm going to throw this out there. How many times do you want to experience the same thing? It's like sex. I'm going to bring it up. It's like sex. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great feeling, whatever. But you do it all the time. I mean, it's the same experience. I mean, yeah, you can twist it, turn it, shape it, whatever form you want to shape it. But bottom line, it's the same experience. Why don't you want to try something else? Try to learn something else. What's always blocking us? It's always us. It's always you. The fight is with you. It's not with anybody else. The war is within. It's not out here. They keep showing you on TV to try to make it, because then it goes in here. Because then it's another war in here. Oh, I got to worry about this, or I got to worry about them. I got to worry about this. Because I know people from other countries, and I love them all. Because I have French friends. I have German friends. I have girl I talked to from Tamil. I have a girl that I talked to from Russia. These are all great humans. These are all great beings. They're not, they're becoming who they truly are. It's not about their government rule. So I mean, it's not about measurements. It's about back within yourself. And these techniques are tools, and that's what they're supposed to be used for. The breathing techniques. You can, if you're into etymology or language, check out Pierre Sabak. His work is fantastic work. The guy's phenomenal, and I cannot say enough high respect for that guy. And his latest one with the Tibetan woman, fantastic. And more of this information needs to be out there. I mean, we need to start to actually take this information in and then apply it. The teachings of the breathing, the teachings of why you shouldn't consume this, why you consume that. How about this? My background was chemical coatings. So, finishing high-end metal, plastic, wood, I've sprayed it all. I finished it all. Boats, cars, semi-trailers. I mean, this stuff, what it does to the body is in your candy. It's in your candy. I'm not kidding you. And if you know about carnauba wax is it's a compound. So you use it to to do repair work. This stuff is in your candy. All right, which is, they say it doesn't affect your body, which I think is kind of funny, because the carnauba wax, how it's actually produced, they only pick so many leaves of it a year. So they only can make so much. So why is it in everything? So the only way to do that is to cut it. Just like drugs, you cut it. So how do you make more? You cut it with solvents. What type of solvents? Who knows what solvents are used? Are they using aromatic solvents? Are they using aliphatic solvents? These solvents have different effects on the human body. I mean, anybody who does finishing and stuff like that, if you don't wear a mask, I mean, you're doing so much damage, you get sick. So I mean, it needs to be shared. So spread this out. That's my story. It has changed my life. And yes, I'm not with my girlfriend anymore or anything like that, but hey man, that's had to be, because this is about spirituality. It's about raising oneself. It's about believing in yourself. I wanted her to believe in herself. She wouldn't. She wouldn't believe that how great of an actual person she really truly was, and I'll even say that now. If she actually took herself back, she'd realize how powerful she is. But we've been knocked down so many times, and some people have been grinded down. So I mean, it's terrible. I guess this is my path. My path was to actually try it all. Say, okay, I'm going to be the dummy. Did the drinking, did the drugs. I'm going to try this. The bar scene and stuff. And then, I mean, how many experiences? You go to the bar. I mean, you're experiencing the same thing day in, day out, the same time, or the same even stuff on the TV. I mean, that's getting old. I mean, a lot of the movies you watch anyway are all written in old text anyway. It's just a reshape or form of actually how to say it. So in a way, to me, it's mocking us. So I mean, that's what it is. Share these videos, pass it on. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's get everybody back to unity. Let's help each other out. This is what it's about. To me, this is what my core mission is to pass on consciousness awareness, because it happened to me. I was not aware. I was not paying attention to me. I was paying attention to, I think I need to do this for this person. And I'm not saying I still don't help people. I help them even more now, but it wasn't about my focus. Attention wasn't there. I have to fix me first before I can fix anybody else. And it wasn't about fixing anyway, because you're not broken. You're just out of alignment. And you'll know this by the discomfort you feel, or what people sometimes call pain. Well, like I said before in my other videos, I don't think pain is necessarily all what we actually think it is. I think it's more discomfort just because we haven't been used to doing something or trying, even breathing techniques. You know, my sa ta na ma videos, which is breathe in, sa ta na ma, holding each time, and then breathing out, sa ta na ma, out of the nose, in and out. Share these videos, wholeness and balance to everybody. Love everyone. Everyone's a reflection of you, so there's no need to knock anybody down. No judgment either. No need to judge anybody else because you're not even judging yourself. That's the problem. We shouldn't be judging anybody, and we definitely shouldn't be judging ourselves because we're beating up ourselves. So we're either beating somebody else up or we're beating ourselves up. Foolish, 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 foolish. Wholeness and balance. Love everyone.